The Finger Five of Story Problems. This is a video meant for parents to understand the Finger Five of story problems. It can also be watched by students to make more sense of the Finger Five of story problems. In first grade, we have a lot of story problems in math. We have addition story problems, subtraction story problems, missing add-in story problems, and all kinds of story problems. So we have the Finger Five to help us remember the steps to solve. The first step is read it, which matches to your thumb finger. The second step is to draw it, which matches your second or index finger. The third step is to solve it, which matches your third finger. The fourth step is number sentence, which is your fourth finger. And the last step is to check your work. This is the most important step and is represented by our pinky finger. Let's look more at how these work when solving a word problem or a story problem. Read it. This is the first step. An important part of solving word problems or story problems is to read the problem. If students just look at the numbers, they won't know whether to add or subtract, and whether it's total unknown or part unknown. So while it is important to look at the numbers, it's important to read the whole story. Bob had 3 books. Tim gave him 4 more books. How many books did Bob have all together? There are some key words in here: gave, more, and all together, that help me know this is going to be an addition story problem. Let's look at the next step. The important parts I need to draw it are: Bob had 3 books, Tim gave him 4 more books. We encourage first graders to always draw with circles. It's a simple shape and it helps them from getting confused. First, I will draw what it says at the beginning. Bob had 3 books. I will represent this with 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. First graders then have a choice. They can put a plus sign before drawing their next circles. They can draw a line dividing the 2 parts of their picture before they draw circles, or they can simply leave a large gap so they remember they're drawing a separate part. The next part of the problem said Tim gave him 4 more books. So I'm going to draw 4 more circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that there's a large space so I can clearly see 2 separate parts. This will help me later on. The next step is to solve it, which usually involves counting. Since I have my circles, all I need to do to solve this problem is count how many circles I have in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have a total of 7 circles. Let's look at the next step. Number sentence. I know that the answer is 7 because I counted my circles. But now I need to put a number sentence in order for this to be marked correct. The parts of the problem that will help me with this are seen here. Bob had 3 books, so I need to write the number 3. Tim gave him 4 more books, so I need to write the number 4. Then I need to represent equals 7, because altogether Bob had 7 books. This would be my matching number sentence. Notice how the numbers I wrote match the numbers from the problem. We teach our first graders to make sure that their numbers match too. The last step is check your work. We need the whole story problem for this step. Bob had 3 books. Tim gave him 4 more books. How many books did Bob have altogether? At this point, your student went through all the other steps, so they should have circles and a number sentence. But it's important that they check their work. Sometimes they go too fast and might make an extra circle. Sometimes they might not make enough circles. It's important to check every step so they know they're correct before they turn in their answer. Let's check our work. We teach students to go back in the story problem. Bob had 3. 1, 2, 3, 3. That part is correct. Next, Tim gave him 4 more books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. That part is correct as well. How many books did Bob have all together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Since all my numbers match, I know I've done all of my steps correctly. Every single time your students solve a word problem, make sure they follow those 5 finger steps.